I do know. I mean, I know I had one student came to me that week, I guess he got robbed. We're waiting for the chief to go look at the computer, cause they have a camera. Never went and looked at it, so they waited for Monday. For the chief to come back, he was on vacation, so when he came back, they called Poteet Police Department. He was gone another week. He was in training. I know he's been doing a lot of trainings, that means he hasn't not been at work. I do go by there and do everything what I can to find out where. I'm always checking on everybody. That's not just you, all the employees, I check up on all of them. Plus, we have had the worst crime now than we ever had. We've had 3 flatbed trailers stolen. We had a truck stolen 8 o'clock in the morning. Chief was not there. The 2 investigators did not come to work on Monday. No one came to work that Monday. We've had an employee, and this happened 2 weeks ago, took out a gun. He's a felony. The gun was not taken away from him. So we had an employee, one of the police officers.
Please, that's an ongoing investigation.
Okay,
And I wanna be really careful, especially since we're in open session, and I would assume that we've got the recorder going on, that we don't get into any other employees that are not on the agenda.
okay, well, I know, okay, some have been going out of the city limits from City Poteet, so we have nobody on call, and actually there is no one ever around. I drove about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, one day this week, didn't see one officer around. They are not on duty. What, I'm saying is really, I heard a lot of good things about him. You're not living in the city of Poteet where we have so much stuff going on, and it's, you can't talk, and I said, and while the theft is going on, we can't solve it, but yet it's like nitpicking, all we're doing is giving tickets away for any little reason. We've had so many come. I had a lot of people that come to my house, Mr. Taylor knows, cause I've come to him and told him, they come to my house cause they don't have my phone number, so they come to my house. I do hate to get phone calls. And I said, I really feel like his lack of confidence is in the chief of police, he has failed. I mean, taking off every other, was there, the first time, when he first came in, I understood, he asked for some time off, we understood. But I didn't understand it was gonna be every other Friday and Monday. So it's like, we have nobody patrolling our area, and that's why, like I said, 3 flatbeds were still trailers here in the city. You have to see somebody driving downtown at 2 o'clock in the morning, either on downtown here, I mean, or Highway 60, you've gotta see him around. And most of the time that's going on, he doesn't even know what's going on, 'cause he's never here.
Besides personal experience, do you have any documentation of him not being here, of him letting stuff slide, like citizens just saying, "Oh, I can't help you"? Because the only I hear out good things. Mr. Trevino has said good things. The only one I hear bad things from is you.
No, you're just picking on me like
I'm
you
not-
always have. Yes, he
You
is.
talk, let him talk.
I'm asking questions. I'm not attacking you. So I'm just asking, do you have proof? Because
Yes,
when
okay, why don't you go to police department, and find out if 3 flatbeds have been stolen?
If we're talking
Why don't you find out that truck got stolen at 8 o'clock in the morning?
stuff,
Mayor, it's gonna be really hard to figure out what's on the tape if 2 people are talking at the same time.
I know.
so
You know,
My
the key
first-
is, yeah, go ahead, you've got the floor.
if we're talking about personal experiences, I ride my bike and my bicycle around town, and I always see an officer. Stuff gets stolen, it happens. It's a city. It's
But
crime.
it's the worst crime that we've had before.
I don't
Yes, it is,
But
no,
if you
one of the
want-
officers
Denise,
here,
please, he's not through.
Yeah, she doesn't keep interrupting, so you can warn her, call order. She just keeps interrupting.
you have the floor.
Alright, fine. Well, that's what I was asking. So, if we're going on personal experiences, we agreed last meeting, not agreed, but we talked about it. We shouldn't do that. We need to write things up. Have you wrote anything down? Have you complained to the mayor?
I come and complain to the mayor, he knows that.
Have you
Just
written?
just the other day, she did come, and I did ask for names.
I
You know, I
actually-
can't do anything without names.
Mayor, you know, I've had come to you before, cause you actually came to my house and asked me for physical address, what I came to you about. Say we can't discuss what, but you know, I've come to you, Abigail, I've come to you too, and Abigail, and I've asked you.
Again,
Is
I
he-
don't wanna be talking about any employees that are not on the agenda. This is not a discussion about anybody other than the chief.
Quick question, Bobby, can the chief say anything?
The chief, I mean, this is your discussion. If you want to ask the chief any questions, it certainly is the council's prerogative.
We're.
You wanna ask him a question?
Good evening.
So, do you have any answers to her allegation that you're never here, that
I had,
you don't patrol?
was told I'm supposed to work 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and that's what I do. I take vacation because I'm allowed that by policy. I've earned it. I'd have emergency leave, has to happen. As far as the investigator's not here on Monday, that happens every so often because I try to have a family-friendly schedule, something I never had at the sheriff's office. Sheriff wouldn't give us those kind of days, and that's his prerogative. That's what he wants to do. So I wanted a family-friendly environment. I'm usually there on Monday. My mother-in-law had been going through some cancer treatments. She caught Legionella pneumonia, a very rare pneumonia. We were in and out of the hospital. I couldn't be here. I was in contact with the mayor daily. I was in contact with my officers daily. I was in contact with Mr. Liao daily. I know everything that goes on here. I have a DAR every day from my officers. If they're not doing anything, it wouldn't be anything on it. They're driving around, they're making contacts, they're stopping people walking with backpacks, stopping people on bicycles. Everything that this council asked me to do, fight the drugs, is what we've done. I did everything. We've moved in a direction, we've become transparent in our complaints against our officers. I've done everything I've asked me to do. 2 things I don't do, and I won't be ever accused of them. I don't brown nose, I'm not a puppet. And it'll never happen. Last meeting, Ms. Sanchez, you said this wasn't personal. That was a
It's
flat
not
out lie.
personal.
Mr. Garces, do you remember that?
Who's Mr. Corses?
The appliance you rented from Cons in your name, put it in his house, and he quit paying you and wanted me to go violate his civil rights to go get it, and I denied you.
You didn't get it.
You're right, I didn't. I didn't have the authority.
Mayor, I
We're
think
getting off the
I
subject.
think we're getting personal here.
Yeah, we're getting off the subject.
Isn't this
I mean,
personal?
if we can keep this civil, chief, I mean, from everybody, if we can keep this civil, and we can just keep this to a discussion, related to the item, I think it would better serve everyone.
How about the trailers that got stolen?
It gets stolen. We have oil field companies drive through here day and night with trailers all the time. We don't stop them for no reason. We stop people because we have PC to stop them, and that's it. The officer may have seen that thing go by. As far as the truck, it was not 8 o'clock in the morning when it was stolen. It was before that because I was on my way into town at 7:30 when I heard the call over the radio, and I got a phone call from somebody who was off duty who saw that truck going to Pleasanton, and I did what I had to do to relay that information. Trucks get stolen. F-250s are the easiest truck to steal. You can get in and out of there in 5 seconds with a screwdriver. I only have 2 officers at night. If one's at the jail and one's on a call, they're busy. During the day, we have 1, aside from me and the investigative team. And we have investigations to do.
As budget.
As budget, we have 1 officer on during the day, unless one of the reserves are able to come out. But they have full-time jobs, they come out regularly, and they help out as much as they can. They put in lots of hours.
So have you seen a spike in crime?
We're working differently than we did before. We're keeping track of our cases differently. We have more case numbers, but we have more officers that are working. And a lot of our case number spikes are because the prosecutors want an offense report every time somebody comes and contests a ticket, so that makes now that we're doing that, our case numbers goes up. We didn't do that before. We didn't write offense reports. When somebody contested in her court, we didn't write an offense report. That's what we're doing now. We create a case number, so it looks on face value that we have more people, more things going on, but it's not totally accurate.
And the crime has gone pretty bad. I mean, the trailers that be stolen, they're still, one of the trailers that got stolen, the husband had just got home. He got home at midnight. 2 o'clock, and his wife stayed up to 2 o'clock in the morning. The morning they get up, trailer's gone.
My
Then we
question,
had,
what does that have to do
Hold on, she's
but
speaking.
that's what I mean. I mean, they went to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. They got up at 6 to go to work. In 4 hours, a trailer was stolen, or was the officers.
And I say something, I was a deputy. I had a lady park her motorcycle on Waxwing in the Royal Oak subdivision. She walked into her house, 2 minutes later walked out, her motorcycle was gone. She went in to get her checkbook. It happens.
But
We
we've had-
only have 2 officers and we have 3,000 people that live in the city. If you want more patrol, then give me more officers.
We've had 3 flatbeds, like I said. I think 2 weeks ago, there was another one. I mean, I don't know if it's K or no, that one too, they posted a picture. Then we've had also one that works for an ambulance, his trailer was stolen too. And I say 8 o'clock because when they posted on Facebook, they said it was 8 o'clock when they stole that truck. That's what I said, 8 o'clock, just what I saw. But then I did get a phone call and they asked me, Denise, where are the officers? I get phone calls all the time, you don't see officers around. And the crime it's pretty bad, Nicholas. I don't know if you see it or not, it is bad. Maybe these people haven't come to you, but they come to me, I'm not scared of no one.
No one's scared. But my question is, what does this have to do with demoting the chief? How is this?
Like I
gonna
said, it's lack of
Stuff gets
performance,
stolen.
lack of confidence. I'm sorry, that's just the way I feel.
help?
You know, we did ask him, and Rosa knows, you know, we did ask him for those, his masterpiece, and I was looking at things. And I gave him the benefit that he knows, I was the one that hired him.
The
He knows I did. I
council
was-
voted me in.
We were the ones that did the interview. So we picked you, right? Okay. And, you know, he wasn't even really qualified. He has no license, I mean, no bachelor, no degree for what we have put for his application, what he needed to be qualified for.
If we could stick to the
Yeah.
current agenda item, because, I mean, if you folks hired him, I mean, you hired him.
We've
But
gone through
We're
it.
talking
Yes.
about,
Yeah,
we're
that's
talking
a
about
done
the
deal.
agenda item. That's
On,
right.
on demotion, in our policy manual, which all y'all read at one time. Demotion is in the charge of duty assignment of an employee to a lower title. Demotion may be made in a purpose of a voluntary assumption for a less responsible position. As a result of this reclassification, the employee position or as disciplinary measures may be unsatisfactory performance in a higher position. It also goes on down here and it says pay reduction. And the employee's pay for I'm sorry. Here, counsel. I hate to be reading that. Disciplinary action, an employee pay for continued performance with the same position may be reduced as a disciplinary measure or for a lower rate. It could only, it would be for 60 days. But it also reads down here, the city administrator and mayor approves a performance pay increase, providing the funds that are made as far as the city council is concerned. Really and truly, the council in our books really cannot reduce the chief's position. The only person that can do it is the
Can't
city
we-
administrator or the mayor.
In my opinion,
Lack of confidence, can't we do that?
well, based on your policy, what the mayor read, with respect to demotions, it offers 2 avenues. One is voluntary, and in this particular case, it doesn't apply. The other is you can be demoted based on disciplinary actions being taken. That is permissible. Pay can either be, if it's disciplinary, it can be reduced, and it mentions one pay grade. If you have pay grades. The last thing you mentioned, Mayor, had to do with who's responsible for making sure that certain types of pay get made, and that is the city administrator and the mayor. But that doesn't have to do with demotions as much as it has to do with making sure that payments or payroll gets paid the way it's supposed to get paid. So, your employee handbook starts off with the city administrator serving at the will of the council. And that's really, really important. It's like on page one. The reason why that's important is because if the highest ranking employee is gonna serve at the pleasure of the council, it follows that every other employee also serves at the pleasure of the council. You do have your policies in place, and they have been approved by council. You have to follow them. But every other employee, in my opinion, serves at your pleasure if you retain hiring and firing authority unto yourselves. So if you've reserved that to yourselves, you've got it. You can promote, you can demote, but in this particular case, if you're gonna follow the policy, if you do demote, it has to be based on disciplinary action consistent with your policy. But you could do it, and you could reduce pay according to your policy by 1 pay grade. I don't know if that fits in this particular case, but it certainly is within the council's prerogative. You did not, you reserved, now what you did was in adopting the policy, you said, the council said in order to put this into effect and to implement it on a day-to-day basis, you did give the mayor and the city administrator that authority to put the policy into effect and to make sure that it works. Presently, I don't think you have a city administrator, so that's on you. So, I mean, you have the authority to act consistent with your policy. I just don't know where this is going, but I certainly did want to offer my perspective on the policy.
I mean, I can't say too much because when I close the session, there's a lot of things involved, and that's why I'm doing this like confidence.
Well, I've never served in your shoes. I probably never will. But the way I believe is you should always be able to say out here what you would say back there. That's just the way I feel. So I understand why closed session exists, but it exists for limited purposes. That is, if the public purpose in moving behind closed doors outweighs speaking publicly. Now back there, of course, you don't have to be as aware of saying things that might be embarrassing or humiliating. Your policy, in effect, and your code of conduct says you don't do that publicly. And that's why I stepped in, because your code of conduct that applies to all of you and your employees says, basically, you cannot do that, you should not do that. And I think this community expects you as leaders to be the standard bearer when it comes to proper decorum in public. But you should be able to discuss performance. If it's on the agenda and the employee elects to have it in open session, you should be able to talk about things sufficient to reach a conclusion. But I just want to make sure that you don't talk about other employees who aren't before you and don't have the same right to invoke their discussion be an open session.
Well, that's why I didn't say names.
And it wasn't placed on the agenda to let the public know you would be talking about those employees in addition to those employees. So,
Yeah.
of course, you have to be a little more careful out here, but it shouldn't prevent you from talking about whatever it is that you're interested in.
So I can take action on this?
Well, the council can. The council can. I mean, you've got that prerogative consistent with your policies.
Okay, I would like to I make a motion to take action requiring the lack of confidence in job performance of Bruce Hickman to assign the position from chief to patrolman.
No second? Okay.
I make a motion to,
Does it have to actually say motion dies for lack of
No,
second?
yes, if there's no second, then the mayor must announce that the motion dies.
For lack of
Motion
second.
dies. Please.
I'll put it back on the next agenda. Oh, I will.
make a motion to dismiss item A as read.
I have a motion dismissing item A. Albert, second. In favor?
Aye.
Vote?
Again.
It carries.
Thank you. Next month, and I'll win my election, I'll be okay.
Okay,
I'll still win.
please. Be-
I was asking what Ms. Rosamunda voted. Did you vote yes or no? Or
Oh,
abstain?
did you,
I'd say.
did you abstain? I'm sorry.